Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Hi!
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight, that's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Greencastle for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Garin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Mascari. And any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar.
Garin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
Western Indiana Conference basketball on tap for you tonight from Greencastle, Indiana. The Tiger Cubs return to the McAnally Center to take on a familiar conference foe in the Edgewood Mustangs. All coming to you live right here on IndianaSRN. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures, one story at a time. Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IUPUI Sports Management, a lifetime of sport with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 logistical solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Alongside Craig Cox, Jarrett Lewis with you on IndianaSRN. Again, for Western Indiana Conference basketball tonight. The Tiger Cubs on a down year. Last year finished the season 21-7, lost in the regional to a very good Guerin Catholic team. But this year, just 3-9 is their record with a 2-5 conference record. Very tough conference play this year for Edgewood. Just a little bit of a different story. Right around 500, a game below that at 6-7. But in conference play, much better for the Mustangs this year. They are 4-1 in the conference, just behind Sullivan, who right now has a perfect 6-0 conference record. The Mustangs, historically good, Craig, as is Greencastle, but both teams seem to be kind of on a downhill swing middle of this regular season.
Yeah, no, I mean, both of these teams have a lot of similarities, parallels, if you will. Historically, both have been very strong programs. Both of them lost quite a bit last year. Obviously, Greencastle losing even more. Lost 80% of their scoring, had a 20-point scorer, 23-point scorer, along with a few mid-teens. And when you take that away, obviously there's a big void to fill. And so, Coach Rector's looking to find and the program themselves, their identity, and looking to see who's going to pick that up. Obviously got a couple double-digit scores, just a little bit over 10. But there's always something, a little bit of different flavor in the gym when you got conference game. Obviously, Edgewood's gotten off to a great start in that realm. Kind of been tough so far on the early part of their schedule, or halfway through now, where they've really both teams haven't got really too much more than a string of a couple wins at a time. So trying to overcome that, but I'm sure tonight both will be ready with a conference foe.
You mentioned losing a lot, and for Greencastle, you can see that in the numbers, averaging just shy of 40 points a contest, a number that you don't see very much around the state of Indiana. They gave up 46.5 to their opponents, and Coach Bryce Rector, who's in his 5th year with a 176 and 158 mark overall, coaching in 15 years, is 85 and 52 in his 6th year at Greencastle, that is. And he, like you said, just a few guys barely above the 10-point mark averaging on the season. Evan Alexander leads the team at just 11.2 points a game. Then you have Cole Hutchison, who plays a lot down low, 10.5 points a contest. They really struggle to score the basketball. We can obviously see that.
No, it is. And I mean, when you're having some of those identity pieces and trying to find who's going to pick up some of those scoring roles, we're also in a position where you're only putting 39. You got to be really, really special on the defensive end if you're going to have some success if you're having trouble putting the ball in the hole.
And the Mustangs score the basketball just a little bit better at 57 points a contest, led in scoring by a senior, Caden Huttenlocker, at 20 points per game, also averages 6 rebounds and 3 assists per game. And a sophomore comes in to balance out the scoring just a little bit more for the Mustangs. At 14.5 points a game is Zach Sims. So you have an upperclassman leading the way in scoring, but you can also rely on a sophomore who has stepped in and played big minutes for Coach Matt Wadsworth, who's in his 3rd year coaching the Mustangs.
Yeah, and I mean, neither one of these two are short of success from a team standpoint. I mean, Edgewood's been in sectional championship 4 years in a row. Greencastle's in back-to-back sectional championships over the last 2 years. So there's a lot historically here. And both these coaches certainly are trying to grow and develop these young players. And so we're in for an exciting contest here at the McAnally Center.
Western Conference basketball in the state of Indiana. We'll take our first break, and we come back. We'll break down these teams just a little bit more as we get closer to tip-off from the McAnally Center here on IndianaSRN. Welcome back to Greencastle High School in Greencastle, Indiana, along with Craig Cox, Jarrett Lewis here on IndianaSRN Saturday Night Basketball in the Western Indiana Conference. More about the Mustangs of Edgewood High School, 6-7, their mark, trying to get to 500. They've won their last 2 games after starting the season 1-4, so trying to build up a little bit of momentum as we have reached the middle part of this season. Last year, this Edgewood team finished this season 14-12. They lost in the sectional championship 52-60 to Northview. And that is a spot where Edgewood really seems to get to, Craig. They've reached the sectional championship 4 consecutive seasons, but they have lost their last 3. They won the sectional back in 2018, but ever since then it's just been one step just short. They get there, but not unable to get over that hump and be sectional championships again.
Well, and it's always tough. I mean, one thing, in sectional play, I mean, throughout the season, I mean, we're in a state, obviously, where everybody qualifies to get there. So I think that's the big thing is you want to be battle-tested heading into that. And Coach Wadsworth's always done a good job with beefing up his schedule and having his kids prepared. And yeah, I mean, it's tough losing in that fashion. But they're a program, again, as we talked about earlier, historically has done a great job in putting themselves in a position to get those championships.
And for Greencastle, a team that has been sectional champions and of late, back-to-back sectional champion wins for the Tiger Cubs. Their last losing season came in the 2016-2017 year. Both these schools very historically good in the boys' basketball programs. The last losing season for Edgewood came all the way back 10 years ago, 2011 and 12. So great historic programs, and Coach Matt Woodsworth of Edgewood and Coach Rector of Greencastle trying to get that going, although it has been a tough first 12 games for the Tiger Cubs. We see both teams have made their way back to their benches. We'll see the national anthem come here soon, and then after we take our next break, we'll have starting lineups and the tip-off from the McAnally Center. So let's take that break, and we come back. We'll have Western Indiana Conference basketball for you right here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Moments away from tip-off here at the McAnally Center, Greencastle High School, the site of conference basketball in the Western Indiana Conference between the Mustangs of Edgewood and the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle. There's the starting lineup for Edgewood. Xander Hammonds is in the starting lineup along with their leading scorer, Caden Huttenlocker. Those two playing the guard position. Braden Robinson is out there at another guard. He wears number 14. Number 23 is Zach Sims. And the final guy in the starting lineup, Nick McCullough, a junior forward. And now wearing their home whites, the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle High School. Getting up first, you see there Tyler Rogers, a senior guard. Also Anthony Adams being announced at the moment. Kiefer Wilson, a huge part of that football team that we saw earlier in the year. Also in the starting lineup, Evan Alexander. He wears number 24. He's their leading scorer this year, and second closely behind him is Cole Hutchison, who wears number 44, a junior forward. A lot of upperclassmen. Zach Sims is the only one who's a sophomore or younger in the starting lineup on the floor tonight for either ball club. The last time these two teams met, they did not play last year, even though they are in the same conference. In 2020, December 29th, it was a Greencastle victory, 55-46. And a quick look at the bucket, but a miss for Edgewood. That was Zach Sims. Immediately off the tip, looking to score.
Yeah, certainly a lot of times don't come that quick, and you won't always try to get those down.
And there's a good move on the other end for Cole Hutchison as he drives baseline for the first points tonight.
Yeah, good strong take there, and one that's one of their leading scorers. I got two of them that's coming in at 11 points a game, and he's one of those too.
Man defense for Greencastle. Rising up at the elbow. Shot is too strong from Huttenlocker. Offensive rebound, but shot rejected by Hutchison. Hutchison will bring things out. Greencastle will slow it down and run an offensive set. Bringing it top of the key. Now the other side for Hutchison. Slow defense going through their offensive set. Wilson is at the elbow. He plays mostly inside.
A good job here by the Mustangs in terms of closing down a lot of the penetration that's happening. Really good job on the closeouts.
Wilson's shot was deflected by Zach Sims. And so an empty long possession there from Greencastle.
Yeah, again, good job with the help defense, really trying to plug a lot of these penetration gaps.
Fading away, Dirk Nowitzki's shot from Huttenlocker won't go, but it'll stay on this end with Edgewood.
Yeah, neither one of these teams historically are going to be ones that's going to hit you a lot with pace, as we see the replay here with good baseline drive, good body control here by Hutchison, with the only points of the game so far.
Huttenlocker got it in and then gets it back. He gets bumped from behind. Looks like this foul will go against Alexander, who was trailing the driving Huttenlocker.
Yeah, going back to a previous comment, it's just neither one of these teams historically are going to be ones that's going to hit you with a lot of pace. And so it's more really tonight who's going to win that half-court play in terms of really keeping good spacing in the half-court set and really doing a good job with player movement and ball movement.
This is Caden Huttenlocker, 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Also adds a steal and a half per game. He knocks down both free throws.
Well, certainly things that you want to get done when you're at the charity stripe and having those opportunities with the clock stopped and seize the moment in terms of knocking those down.
Edgewood brought a little bit of three-quarter court press, but backed out of it. So we've played 2 minutes so far in this first quarter.
Like so far, too, you see with Edgewood's on both of these possessions, just doing a good job of containing the ball, not bellying up and trying to force too much and just trying to keep their guy in front of you, or a lot of times what we say, just guard your yard.
Rogers dishes to Wilson in the corner, and it's an easy swipe away by Huttenlocker, trying to beat Wilson to the rack, which he does, up and good with the right hand.
Yeah, good strong move there. Straight line to the basket. A good job in turning that turnover into points.
Xander Hammonds and Braden Robinson work the top of this box defense look. But again, not too much pressure. Wilson this time will try to beat Huttenlocker on his zone, and that's a nice dish after a good cut by Alexander, but couldn't put it off the glass in the right spot.
Yeah, good job finding the seam, taking what the defense gave him, just couldn't get the basket as we get, obviously, a 3 here by the Mustangs.
Great pass into the corner. Xander Hammonds knocks down our first triple tonight.
Something about the 3 ball always gets the players in the crowd.
6.5 points per game for Xander. Hutchison in a little bit of trouble, and that pass deflected, stolen away by Edgewood. The other way is Huttenlocker. To the elbow, cross-court pass. Hammonds will try another one, and he hits again. Xander Hammonds, back-to-back threes, will force a timeout from Coach Rector. A 30-second timeout called from the Tiger Cubs.
Yes, not broke. Nothing needs to change there, so just keep letting it go. He's feeling it. Back-to-back possessions, and certainly one that gets the Mustangs out to a early 8-point lead here.
Serenity Care Services is an Indiana licensed service agency. We're the friendly, experienced team of caregivers that you have been seeking. Call Angela today, 317-900-6202. Serenity Care Services, serving Indianapolis in the 5 surrounding counties. You know, last night, Sean and I had the City Alliance Tournament Championship game for the girls between Cathedral and Chittard. We did not see a single 3-pointer made all night. It was the teams were 0 of 11, 0 of 12. Did not see a single 3 go down. And early on, for me, seeing a game, it's like, whoa, we're finally seeing threes. And Hammonds, in a matter of about 30 seconds, knocks down 2.
Yeah, and congratulations to the Irish Cathedral. The game went overtime, didn't it? Was it overtime or not?
It was not. It was close.
Yeah.
It was close the entire way, and the Irish and the Trojans were tied at one point, and the Irish made a shot with, I believe, 6 seconds left to end up winning that ball game.
Good back screen here. We'll loop under as we see Wilson get his first basket of the evening.
Kiefer Wilson over the left shoulder. That goes down for the Tiger Cubs out of that timeout. Trying to prevent this deficit from getting any larger. Down low turnaround jumper going straight up was Wilson after the miss from Sims, and Wilson tracks down the board.
Yeah, really nice post-entry pass, and when you get them that deep, you want to be able to try to obviously get those down. We've got a nice kick here out for the 3 that's unsuccessful.
3 in the corner from Rogers won't go. Huttenlocker. Hand off, and Sims gets it out. Hammonds will reset the offense. A lot of space to work with for Sims, and a spin move in the lane, but called for steps.
Yeah, nice move, little high post action here, running the guards over the top, trying to get them to bite on that. Gave him what he wanted and getting downhill, but just got a little bit too much with the 2 steps.
Edgewood hasn't played a game since last Saturday when they took on South Putnam, another conference team. They won that game 61-40. They were supposed to have a game yesterday with Owen Valley, but it was postponed. Here's a steal. Dish behind to Sims. Huttenlocker, selfish basketball, giving Sims the 2 points.
Yeah, good job. Caden's done a great job in showing his presence early on as we get the 3 here by Adams.
Anthony Adams, that is just a freshman. And for Greencastle, their first 3-pointer made, trying to answer, unable to do so, was Robinson. Hutchison will push it up. Adams in that same exact spot. Hutchison opts not to use the screen, and he gets fouled going to the bucket. Back to this made 3 from Adams.
Yeah, great kick out and really good job here by Adams setting his feet and being ready. So many times you see guys off the ball not getting their pre-routine or pre-shot routine ready, setting their feet, really dipping the hips, if you will, and being shot ready. Great job there by Anthony in doing so.
Not too many whistles in the early going. One foul apiece. Nick McCullough picked up that last one for the Mustangs. Adams switches sides of the court.
They really like to see there. He was ISO, didn't have a lot of help side. Anthony there really look on those types of situations where you're really trying to jab step and really get downhill when you're one-on-one like that without the help.
Having some trouble, but able to keep it in his control was Alexander. Here's a pass to Hutchison, who cut to the bucket, and he gets fouled.
Yeah, really good job here. Cole read his defender. Got caught looking at the ball, turned his back to him, and did the right thing and certain back door. And great job by his teammate finding him there and hoping he can convert these with the free throws.
That was Nick McCullough again. Two quick ones for Nick as Hutchison seeks the first. McCullough will take a seat. We'll see the first substitution for Edgewood being Jalen White checking in. Hutchison too strong on the second. 4-point lead for Edgewood. Huttenlocker quickly across and quickly to the block. Rises up and uses the glass.
Yeah, it's a real aggressive offensive player. Does a good job reading and really hitting the gap, getting downhill quickly, but does a good job, and that's why he's averaging 20 points a game.
Hammonds and Huttenlocker now each with 6. And it's a 6-point advantage for the Mustangs into the corner. Here's a three from Greencastle. It won't go down for Alexander. Edgewood the other way. Nifty pass, found a window. Huttenlocker to White, and it finds the hands of Jalen White.
Yeah, I don't know who you give that assist to, but nonetheless, the Mustangs will take the 2.
Ball bouncing the right way for Edgewood. That time under a minute left to go in the opening quarter. Huttenlocker gets out on Alexander. Jab step, beats him baseline. Help side defense comes over.
Good job of just some ball movement, shifting the defense from side to side, looking at the extra pass, if you will.
Wilson nearly kept that ball in play, but it was going out of bounds. Back to this nifty pass.
Yeah, it gets deflected a couple times, and look what I found, Mom.
We'll see what Edgewood opts to do here with 30 seconds left to go.
Certainly appears as they're going to hold for the last one. These types of moments, too, you want to go where you're probably around 7-8 seconds where you kind of want to start to get into what you're going in and hoping to get that shot about 4 or so. And in the case you miss it, you still got time for a putback.
Perhaps trying to put an exclamation point on this great first quarter for Edgewood. Quick grab and shoot. Had plenty of time on the clock, but opting to hurry with it was Hammonds, and a traveling violation called against Greencastle. This is probably going to be a throw up to the rim. And that is the case, and Greencastle read it easily. Nonetheless, a great first quarter for the visiting Mustangs of Edgewood. They lead at 16-8. We'll head to quarter number 2 when we come back on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Here's a look at the visiting Mustangs in their road black on black tonight. 16-8 is the lead for Edgewood, who has owned this series the last 40 games. have gone in favor of the Mustangs 29-11. And trying to get back to 500 on this 2021, now 2022 season. We'll start the second quarter with a steal. Huttenlocker going after it, and Wilson got on the floor.
Yeah, that's like his third, if not fourth time. He's got his hand on the ball. Passing lanes are getting his team in position to get the turnover. So great job there by Caden.
Here's a steal. Greencastle getting it back. Rogers this time with the active hands. And the Tiger Cubs will get it right back. Two quick turnovers, one for each team. Hutchison loses the handle on it. Nearly a steal for Hammonds. Hutchison, this has been a good matchup so far going against Sims.
And again, the Mustangs continue to do a good job. You see with every pass, they're jumping to the ball really well, taking away gaps, and certainly on the weak side as we have a missed three here. That's leading to the Mustangs transition.
Deep three-point attempt from Rogers rims out. Huttenlocker will try three of his own, and he hits. 3 for 3 are the Mustangs shooting from downtown.
Yeah. Coach Wadworth will certainly take those percentages, Jared. It's shooting well. And the thing is they're letting the game and these shots come to them. They're not really chasing them a lot.
And the defense, the hands are staying active, and you can see Coach Wadsworth appreciative of his guys getting on the floor. Jalen White sliding in to corral the basketball.
Yeah, really good job here in terms of getting on the floor. A couple of the Mustangs. But the right call there, certainly diving into the player's legs. You got to make that call, but you got to love the aggressiveness of this Mustangs team here on the defensive side.
Lob pass down low. Wilson stripped by White, and the clamping of the hands down is the ruling. So a jump ball arrow going to Edgewood.
Yeah, good close there at the basket. Guy really had him sealed well, but then they sent another defender over, which got him tied up.
Largest lead of the night so far. It's at 11 points, and we are a minute and a half through this second quarter. Sims, he'll try a three. It's no good, and over the backboard out of bounds.
Well, and we're seeing early on, Jarrett. I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. Greencastle has struggled this year to put points on the board, averaging 39 a game, and we're seeing it early on here with only 8 approaching midway through the second.
Hutchison got to the baseline, and now they reverse it around. Wilson will drive up with the right. Pretty good defense from Jalen White to affect the shot, and who's it off of? They say last touch by Jalen.
Yeah, and when you're in these situations where you're kind of struggling offensively, there's got to be a lot of things that you're looking to improve on off the ball. So many times the focus is on the guy with the ball, but you really can create yourself a lot of really good shots by what you're doing off the ball with your movement, whether that's through screen action or through cuts, or even that we haven't seen too much with either team do just yet, and that is having ball screens.
Quick turnover committed by the Tiger Cubs, and now back for Edgewood. Huttenlocker driving in, weaving between 3 different defenders, doesn't get the friendly roll, but there's Sims. Offensive rebound, put back, and the foul.
Yeah, Huttenlocker did a great job of splitting, kind of using more of a Euro step right there and getting the high dribble over the top. Couldn't get it to finish, but great job with Sims coming in with a strong rebound and a chance for the N1.
So far, 4 points for Zach Sims, and able to complete the 3-point play. Rogers, the usual point man. Throws it over to Wilson. Trying to beat White off the dribble. A tough take by Kiefer Wilson, and high off the glass. Goes in for Greencastle. We see a 3-point play on the other end, and now Wilson returns the favor.
Yeah, good strong move, good body control, be able to get that shot off, making his adjustment. One that the Greencastle team really needed, and he converts the three-point play.
Knocking down the free throw is Wilson. It's still a 12-point advantage for Edgewood. Sims brings it across. Pass deflected, and it finds the hand of Wilson. Up the floor to Hutchison. Doesn't need a dribble, and it lays it in.
Great job there of looking ahead, keeping your head up, and really advancing the ball with the pass and not by the dribble. So really good transition point there.
Hutchison nearly comes away with a steal. Nice hustle play there from 44.
Yeah, those are situations here and where the Greencastle team is going to have to maximize what they can get out of the transition point and trying to see about getting a stop here to continue on this little stretch of run that they've had.
Lob pass into the corner, finds Huttenlocker, and I think Caden got Wilson up into the air.
Yep.
So for Greencastle, 2 team fouls, and that's all, and just 3 for Edgewood. Lob pass to Huttenlocker, guarded by Alexander. Sims, nice head fake, and he was able to dribble past Wilson. Zach Sims with quite the first half.
Yeah, it was a really good move there. Really did a show and go. Got the guy to get opened up on his hip, and then tacked his high hip to get downhill on that. No good strong move.
Easy steal for Huttenlocker. Here he goes. Driving past everybody of Greencastle on the left side. What a first half it's been for Caden Huttenlocker.
I was going to say, when he gets the ball in his hands, you kind of know where he's going. He's shown us, though, that he's very unselfish, making a few deep passes, but this young man does a great job of attacking the basket and showing his presence at the offensive end.
Here's another steal. Boy, turnovers an abundant amount this quarter from Greencastle, and Edgewood has mostly been able to turn them into points. Here's a jump ball here.
Yeah, and one that you see here, and that probably what I would think, that was probably a quick shot. You're in transition, didn't have any rebounders. You pull the three. I say all the time, those are types of shots that you can always get in a half-court set, that they always don't need to be shot in a transition way.
Alexander loses the handle in a pretty ticky-tack foul called on Huttenlocker in the backcourt.
Yeah, and one that you, again, don't like to get when you're 65, 70 feet from the basket. Not a scoring threat. Look to just contain and make the offensive player make a turnover based by your presence, but not by bailing them out here.
Here's a double team.
Got another foul, I think.
This time it was Sims who came over to double on Wilson, and he picks up the foul. First one for Sims. All of a sudden it was 2 or 3 for both teams, and Edgewood has 6. One more, we'll see Greencastle shooting free throws. Kiefer Wilson caught the lob pass and put it in.
Yeah, and he's been a bright spot. He's obviously going to need to get some support, but he's been the bright spot for them so far here through the first half.
Jab step from Sims creates some space to knock down a 3.
I was going to say, I guess Zach's saying I got the answer to that in hitting the 3 ball.
Here's another on-ball foul called on Caden Huttenlocker, number 2 for him. And there's a foul that now we'll see free throws the rest of the way out for Greencastle. Evan Alexander will be the one at the free throw line, yet to score tonight. Greencastle's leading scorer on the season.
And that's the one where you again, when points aren't coming in bunches as a team and you have your leading scorer, and him and Hutchison. Hutchison has 5 on the board already, and that there's Evans first. But you need those 2 guys to at least be a little further along in terms of at least 8-10 points at this point to really provide them an offensive punch as he hits the second.
Perfect trip at the line for Alexander. As a team, the Tiger Cubs 4 of 5 shooting free throws. 100% so far for Edgewood after 3 attempts. Sims on the cut, gets fouled before the shot. We'll check out the number. Appears to be number 40. That's Jacob Zimmerman, who had just checked in.
And they still got a couple more to give before Edgewood's shooting, so this ball will be taken out under their basket here. Going to have to really be some strong presence more from the Tiger Cubs, especially off penetration. There's been a lot that certainly that Caden Huttenlocher's been getting downhill on. A few tray balls by Sims as well as he takes it here.
Sims has been terrific with that jab step and able to beat his guy off the dribble.
Yeah, he's got 12 by himself, so he's doing a good job. Both their guys that are the scoring punches for the Mustangs are certainly proven for that here through the first half.
In the previous trip, he used that jab step to create space and rise up for the 3. That time, he used it to then use the dribble and beat his guy that way to the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, got a great frame to him, too. I mean, kid's 6'3", he's only a sophomore, has shown his balance of his game in terms of hitting the 3 ball. He's perfect from the line tonight on converting an and one. But has hit a few mid-range, and then he's had a couple putbacks, and then this last drive. So really showing some great presence at the offensive end.
Tyler Rogers, meanwhile, at the line. Doesn't hit the first. Hammonds, no hesitation, hits the side of the backboard. Offensive rebound. A third chance possibly for Edgewood. It's kicked around. Exchanges hands a couple of times, and in the end ends up being a jump ball.
Well, there's certainly no question tonight who the more aggressive team is here tonight. Edgewood has shown a number of times where they've gotten on the ball in multiple occasions, and that time they had 3 of their 5 guys diving on the floor. So really playing hard for Coach Wadsworth tonight as we get a 3 here.
Hammonds tries again from downtown, still no good. Running the other way is Hutchison. Catch and shoot. That 3 was affected somehow. Maybe a little bit of contact, but no foul called.
Well, again, that's what we talked about a little bit ago with Edgewood's shot, and White taking his 3 for Edgewood, and now you get the 3 there for Alexander for the Tiger Cubs in transition. And not that those aren't bad, but when you're taking them when you don't have any rebounders in transition, it just becomes a little bit tough because the possessions are maximized, especially when you're struggling to put the ball in the hole.
And now you're down the largest amount you've been all night at 14. Nearly 17, but a missed 3 from Robinson. And a pretty important minute 45 to close out this first half for Greencastle. Batted around. Robinson swipes in for the steal. Into the corner. Wide open is Sims, but an air ball.
Yeah, those are ones I know he'd like to have back. Good job there of Caden getting the ball again. We talked about it earlier, too. So many times you see a lot of young players that are advancing the ball in transition off the dribble and not by the pass. So it's a really good job of keeping the head up and then advancing the ball that way.
So with that foul, it was called on Robinson. It'll send Rogers back to the free throw line. Missed the front end of his previous trip. Jim quiets down. Rogers too strong this time again.
And speaking of the gym, we talked about it here before the game started. McAnally Center is one of the best venues throughout the entire state of Indiana. We're a state that has some of the largest high school gymnasiums in the country, or excuse me, in the world. But this is one of them that might not be in one of the top 10 biggest. But I'll tell you, this is a phenomenal venue that the Tiger Cubs get to play in all their home games.
Yeah, plenty of great spots plenty of good spots to sit down and catch a game, whether you're behind the goal like the band is on this end.
Yeah, dome style type more of like an arena feel than it is a high school gymnasium.
That's right. Huttenlocher knocks down another 3, his second tonight. Huttenlocher right now has 14 points to lead the way for the Mustangs.
Yeah, he's well on his way to his average, more than halfway there. But as we said earlier, both their leading scorers in Huttenlocher and Sims have really added not only a great 1-2 punch throughout the season, but certainly showing that here tonight as well.
36 seconds left in this one. and a first half dominated by Edgewood. Wilson drives in. Robinson reached in and affected the route of Wilson, which ended up forcing him to travel.
Yeah, as it wasn't quite of a jump, more of a switch, but more of a jump switch there, which caused a little bit of confusion for him. You're right there, Jarrett, and it's those types of things that we talked about earlier. Just your presence can cause a lot of havoc in itself. So many times you see players bail them out by reaching in and trying to do something extra. It looks like the Mustangs are going to hold here probably for the last shot once again, like we saw at the end of the first quarter.
Mustangs have scored 18 points this quarter. They led at the end of one. Huttenlocher's shot is blocked. 3 seconds for the Tiger Cubs. Rogers at half court, batted out of bounds by Robinson. Boy, if Robinson doesn't get a hand in there, Rogers may have a decent look at a half court heave.
And typically by rule, less than 0.3 is usually not time to get a shot off, as we saw there.
Yeah, Rogers passed to Wilson. If it went in, it wouldn't have counted anyways. It's a good first half from the road team, the Edgewood Mustangs. They lead it 34-17 as both teams head into the locker room, and we have reached halftime here on Indiana SRN. Stay tuned for the second half. We'll be back after a couple of minutes here on the Family Network's Indiana SRN.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
Silos in the area have become canvases for an international artist. The artist is working sun up to sundown in Greencastle, Indiana.
On News 10 First at 5, we told you community support and grant money helped make the work possible. Well, now, new for you tonight at 6, News 10's Tilly Marlatt explains the meaning behind the giant creations.
Andre Krutzu is from New York City. He is best known by his artist name, Key Detail. He has completed murals all over the world. Now he is leaving his mark on Putnam County. It's all on display at the intersection of US 231 and Veterans Memorial Highway.
8,000 square feet, and I think it's one of my biggest projects till now.
He is freehanding the entire project using spray paint.
Started off by gridding all the silos, doing some sketching with the acrylic marker, which you can kind of still see on the unfinished silo, and we've been really pleased and impressed with how quickly he's working.
Wednesday marks day 10 of the project. Organizers expect only a few more days before the project is complete. Inspiration comes from across the county.
And we asked the community to provide input on content and style. And so we had people vote on their favorite choice of murals, of artwork as examples, and then they described Putnam County in one word.
Nature is at the core of the project design. The bald eagle is a symbol of American strength. The cow is a representation of the agriculture industry throughout the county and state. The violin is a nod to the School of Music at DePaul University. The final silo will display a covered bridge and white-tailed buck. It's all a collaboration between the community and artists.
Really important to engage with local community because they are going to see these murals every day and it's going to be part of their life.
Work that will represent the area for years to come. In Greencastle, Indiana, I'm Tilly Marlatt, News 10.
That was simply stunning.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful. Well, a block party is scheduled for September the 29th to celebrate that beautiful artwork.
I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see it like this?
Yeah!
getting ready for another big night of Operation Football, and a lot of fans we know will be tuned in to see their favorite teams.
Yeah, you know, live streaming of high school sports has really taken off recently, partly because of safety concerns since the pandemic. I recently discovered Central Indiana's largest high school sports webcaster has chosen a rather unique remote location as its broadcasting headquarters. When you think Indiana high school football, you think this. But you're probably not envisioning this. So where are we sitting right now?
We're sitting in this beautiful Scottish Rite Cathedral downtown Indianapolis.
And why are we here?
This is the studios of IndianaSRN.
At the 38-yard line, and Coach, that is a big first down at this point in the game.
IndianaSRN claims to be Indiana's largest webcaster of high school sports.
I founded this in 2008.
We'll broadcast about 336 games a year.
We're everywhere.
We do more games than anybody.
Grandmas love us because they love to see their grandchildren.
If you've got internet connection, you can get us.
This season, the nearly 100-year-old Scottish Rite Cathedral downtown is the IndianaSRN broadcasting studio for 3 different local high school football games every Friday night.
Well, I'm a member here.
You told him that you'd be doing games from the Scottish Rite Cathedral. What was his response?
Wow, we can get in that building?
COVID forced IndianaSRN out of their on-location broadcasting booths last season.
We were in different locations, different arenas, different gymnasiums every week, and the ADs came to us and said, look, we got to clear the building. We're not allowed to have more than the players in here. We can't have you guys in here. So we said, well, we'll bring one guy. All we need to do is put a camera on the field along with a crowd mic, and we ship that signal back through the internet to this beautiful building. And then we add play-by-play announcer, we add a color announcer, and we produce and put graphics on.
And that remote location format actually ended up working out better.
In the old days, Carlos, we'd get a call from Covenant Christian, and we'd have to race across town to get them on the air. Now, when I have 3 different teams within 30 feet of each other, if we got a problem, I can easily solve that.
The Scottish Rite Cathedral has no specific religious affiliations. It's home to the Freemasonry fraternal organization. But the guys running IndianaSRN believe there is a higher power on their team.
It's been a blessing. This is a beautiful environment to walk into and to work into.
I mean, it's a $200 million building. I joke that we have the most expensive studios in the state of Indiana, probably more than yours.
Go. IndianaSRN says the main advantages of broadcasting from the Scottish Rite, the size of the facility and the security of its gated parking lot. And this weekend, IndianaSRN takes their coverage to the next level. They're going to be webcasting their first ever college football game. They'll be calling that game on location, by the way, so they won't be in the Scottish Rite. But it's just one of those things where you don't think football in the Scottish Rite, but it provides them with a great facility because it's so big.
Yeah. I love that he says that grandmas love it because they can catch a game where I know my grandma would really like that one too, for sure.
I love watching their coverage because I'm a Covenant Christian fan, okay? Class A. You know, we would never get this kind of coverage, even radio coverage, but these games are televised, like the game you were showing was Heritage and Covenant Christian, and so you can watch those at home if you can't make it to the game. You'd never have that opportunity before.
You can go to WTHR.com for a link to the IndianaSRN website.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
And we welcome you back to the McAnally Center on the campus of Greencastle High School. The Tiger Cubs, though, trailing their Western Indiana Conference foe, the Edgewood Mustangs, 34-17. The Mustangs outscoring the Tiger Cubs 18-9 in that second quarter to give them the largest lead of the night so far, 17 points. With Craig Cox, Jarrett Lewis here with you on Indiana SRN. Thanks so much for tuning in. Also on TigerCubs.tv. Boy, Caden Huttenlocher and Zach Sims picking up where they left off from last Saturday. They're both 1 point shy of what they finished with in last week's game. Huttenlocher had 15 points in their win against North Putnam, and Sims ended the night with 13. And right now, Huttenlocher 14 points for Edgewood. Sims has added 12. Those two have been magnificent through 16 minutes of play.
No, and that's what you want out of your two leaders, especially when you talk about statistically. But they're also going to go, as these two guys go, for the Mustangs, and certainly Coach Wadsworth got what he needed out of these two. I think obviously as you continue to go through the year in the back half of the season, I think it's going to be important for these two young men to have a few others that come along their side and can get you maybe 8 points a game. That's just going to solidify them more on the offensive end.
And they have seen some good contribution back in that first quarter. 2 made threes for Xander Hammond, so he has 6 points right now. 5 made threes as a team for Edgewood to just 1 made 3 for Greencastle. The shooting has been much better from Edgewood, a team that's shooting 35% from downtown.
Yeah, and I mean, they're one we talked about earlier. They're averaging 39. They got 17 right now, a little bit under what you would want to be halfway through. One that has struggled to get scoring in bunches. And so I'd really like to be able to see them work a little bit more screen action, whether that's off the ball or even on it. Ball screens are one of the toughest things to defend on all levels. And so I think the movement's going to be key for the Tiger Cubs as we get an opening shot here coming from Hutchison.
And Hutchison misses everything on the turnaround jumper. Not a good start for the second half for Greencastle. Meanwhile, Huttenlocher, tough take. Took in the contact, but still able to finish.
Yeah, he's like, let me go ahead and start the second like I did the first. And so really good body control there and kissing it off the glass.
Huttenlocher now leading the way with 16 points. Here's a drive. The lefty at the elbow knocks it down. Anthony Adams for 2.
Really nice job there. Lefty, always a little tougher to the guard, but really good out the set here to get an opening basket for them.
Hammonds will try for his third. It's short. And the rebound tipped out to Adams.
Hey, thanks, Terry. Missed his teammate, kind of released a bit, had a layup. And that's what we talked about earlier is what we use Caden Huttenlocher as an example in terms of looking down the floor, and that was an example there where we had Adams miss his teammate.
Wilson has it in the corner. He led Greencastle in scoring from the first half with 7 points. This is a pass that Hutchison touched while stepping out of bounds. Hutchison in that first half, 5 points to his credit. So when you compare Huttenlocher and Sims together, that's 28 points. And the two leading scorers for Greencastle being Wilson and Hutchison, that's just 12 combined points. And a quick turnover committed by Edgewood.
Yeah, and Zach saw his teammate there. Really great look, but didn't have a lot of distance there and kind of fired it pretty hard where his teammate couldn't handle it. Kind of weird seeing that Green Bay Packer G at half court in the purple.
In the purple, that's
and
right.
Not the green and yellow.
Packers with the playoff first round bye. They will await a opponent after tomorrow's games. Or it could be Monday with the Cardinals and Rams facing off that night. Here's a jumper by Sims who got to the paint.
Well, and he just like Caden started off the first 2 points here of the second half come from those two, which is what you might expect.
Sims and Huttenlocher might have a competition between themselves on who is going to have the biggest point performance tonight.
We talked about it, too, in the first half here as we have a drive and have Wilson picking up a foul here, drawing that on the baseline drive. But the Mustangs have done a really good job. We mentioned it in the first half in terms of really moving, shifting their defense, jumping to the ball, if you will, having great ball presence and containment. Twice gave up the baseline there that resulted in a foul here with Wilson getting 2 shots.
Wilson connects on the first one. That foul was on Nick McCullough. That's his third. We didn't see any of him in the second quarter. He picked up 2 quick ones. One of the starters tonight for Edgewood, and Wilson goes 2 for 2.
Got a 3 getting put up here by Robson, comes up short.
Wilson with a huge rejection, and Rogers gets tackled. They say immediately it was intentional.
That looked like that was a press the rewind button and go back to fall football, right?
That's right.
and I tell you, he's a good sized boy falling on you as well.
There was also McCullough. McCullough has not scored tonight. Quick back-to-back personals.
You're right, they are calling it intentional.
This will be 2 free throws for Rogers, who got tackled close to midcourt.
He's looking for his first points of the night, and first one's unsuccessful, but he's got a second one, and they'll get the ball here too. So it tries to crack into the scoring column here at the free throw line.
Cold shooting so far for Rogers. He's 0 for 3, but able to knock that one down.
Tyler's a 5'8" senior. Looks like we're going to get a timeout here.
Just a 30-second timeout from Coach Matt Wadsworth of Edgewood. As we take this timeout, remind you to subscribe to the newsletter for the IHSAA Foundation, The Advocate, at IHSAAfoundation.org. Thanks to the IHSAA Foundation for what they're doing for our student athletes. Also, Family Source Insurance. We have you covered, auto, home, life, or business. Call Pat Cherry to get a quote today, 317-884-8046. Look to Family Source Insurance for all of your needs.
You know, there's games like this, too, where you get up big. You know, these periodic timeouts sometimes are needed just to kind of keep your kids sharp, really have them focus and play for the bigger piece, not only for each possession throughout this game, but every game's not going to be this way. There's still a lot of basketball to play, so you want to keep focused and continue to do the things that got you here.
Greencastle runs a set, a couple screens away from the basketball. Rogers in the corner. This time he'll try a 3. It's off the front of the rim. And skying up for the rebound was Robinson.
Yeah, really good job there of getting the pin screen and getting the skip from the weak side. Really good action there, just getting the shot to go, but I really like that action.
Sims. Back up top now, Huttenlocker. Zach gets it back, tries to throw it around, wrap it around Wilson.
The thing, too, that you see here is just the good spacing that the Mustangs have, and there's a lot of action going on off the ball, which is what you want to see, creating opportunities and making your defense defend.
Sims able to create some more space with a good dribble move. Huttenlocker offensive rebound leads to a putback.
This kid's really got a good offensive game. It's the first time I've gotten a chance to call a game of his, but he's very poised, really doesn't chase after the game, lets it come to him. But really nice as we get Adams here with a 2.
Adams off the screen, rises up at the elbow. The lefty has 7 points tonight. The lone 3 for Greencastle. Defense picks up just a little bit, a zone look. Huttenlocker, plenty of space to knock down another 3. That's number 3 for Caden Huttenlocker.
Yeah, well, you know, we have the points, but not breaking down exactly the stats of his shooting percentage tonight, Jarrett. But I'll tell you, this young man's balanced from the outside, mid-range game, and had some things in the transition game too. So great balance in terms of his scoring, as we're going to get a turnover here. But he shot the ball really, really well tonight.
It's 21 points so far for Caden Huttenlocker. A senior, he's now reached his season average,
and
just right at 21.
Mind you, we still got another whole quarter, along with almost half of this one. Setting himself up tonight for a really good scoring. He's beyond his average now.
And like you said, it has been balanced. He's knocked down 5 two-point jumpers and 3 from downtown. Also has had 1 trip to the free throw line where he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to go there again for 2 more. Really good downhill attack. Really saw attacked his high hip and got downhill on him and did a good job of controlling his body to draw that foul.
A decent team at the line is Edgewood, 70%. And a discussion going on for a moment, but we will see free throws from Hutton Locker, who sinks the first.
We mentioned, too, for those viewers out there, this is a conference game, so, every type of conference win that you can get, it's almost counts as two. So they're trailing Sullivan right now in the conference standings by 1 game back, so trying to hold serve, if you will.
Locker adds to his total. He's now at 23. Hutchison trying to cross over Sims, which he does. Got to the block and cut off, but enough contact to draw a foul.
Yeah, good job by the big fella out on the perimeter, showing a little bit of his handles. And
checking in for the Mustangs, number 11, Jacob Boggs.
Out of bounds under. Alexander to trigger. Huttenlocker snatches it out of midair. Pass over to Sims on underhand throw, and Sims couldn't bring it in, but Huttenlocker right there to steal it right back. Boy, he is everywhere.
Yeah, great job, great read. Pass on the transition was a little tough. Probably the right job, but you want to try to maybe get a little bit more downhill, make the defender commit to you, then try to get that off, but by giving it up as early as he did, it was a tough one to handle at that.
The offensive game tonight from Caden obviously has been superb, but on the defensive end, you cannot fall asleep when passing the ball or making a cut, because Huttenlocker will make you pay, just like we saw right there getting those steals.
Yeah, he reads well. He's got good anticipation skills as we get another deflection here.
This time it's Sims, a spin move into the lane and lays it in right over the front of the rim.
Yeah, and again, this young man's just a sophomore. Really got a bright future ahead of him. Doing some really good things here already. He's a 15-point scorer this year as a sophomore. So he's still going to continue to develop.
Top of the key three, no good from Alexander. Going the other way, Sims, and he was stopped and almost going in slow motion. Called for the travel.
Yeah, and that's such a common piece. On the turnover side, the biggest type of turnover you have is always passing. And, you certainly have that, too, with the travel. And a lot of times, so many times kids just don't catch it and establish a pivot foot. And that's where they're usually getting called for that.
Behind the back goes Hutchison. Short corner, or just inside the three-point line jumper, won't go. Huttenlocker slows down, speeds back up, and was too strong with the runner.
Yeah, again, we've talked about it on a couple different occasions with, scoring has come tough with these Tiger Cubs. But the thing that we're seeing here tonight, too, there's just a lot of quick shots. There's not a lot of things in the half-court set where they're trying to break you down with that extra pass, not a lot off the ball. And that becomes that gets tough when you have one pass or one or two passes and quick shots, especially from the perimeter, because they're just lower percentage shots. On the high school level, the 30 percentiles as teams is very common. So you got to get to your place where you're in that 40 or even upper 40s, especially from the field, by trying to get some things in the paint.
Using the screen from Sims as Huttenlocker now sees one come in from Jacob Boggs, his first action tonight. Three-pointer from Sims, left it short. And coming in from behind, trying to tip it to himself perhaps, was Jalen White.
Yeah, Anthony Adams there for the Tiger Cubs did a great job of positioning, had his guy blocked off, and, that's something, in this case, Jalen, when you recognize the guy's got position, you just got to get back on defense and look to kind of get a stop and not get a cheap foul there.
Final 40 seconds start ticking away in this third quarter. Wilson finds an open Rogers in the corner. Still can't get a three to go. Only one has gone down for the Tiger Cubs tonight. Hammonds, this guy has made two, but they came in the first quarter. Foul, I think, away from the basketball maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it came from. Heard the whistle. Going back to that last Greencastle possession, really liked that action. Got a little bit of inside-outside, kicked it back out, got the extra pass. Guy was ready to shoot, so it's much better action. Just couldn't get the shot to drop.
You can see Coach Wadsworth calling for one shot, one good look in this final 15.
Yeah, you usually want to go again around 8 or so here.
Huntlocker will shoot it at 9 and knocks down the 3, even with the hand in his face. And here's a steal. Sims gets it. There's 2 points. In 6 seconds, the Mustangs score 5 points.
Yeah, there's a little Reggie Miller action. Wasn't quite 11 points in, 11 seconds or 12 seconds against the Knicks years ago, but they'll take the 5 in 6 seconds. And I was going to say, too, you want to go there around 8 or so, try to get the put back around 3 or 4 if you miss, but
Huntlocker
wasn't
waiting around.
He's like, hey, I feel it. I've been shooting. Percentages have been great all night. Guess he heard us talking earlier. And so he's like, hey, I'm open. I'm hitting the step back 3 with 11 seconds to go.
We'll take a break. Fourth quarter upcoming. Edgewood leading by 34 on top of Greencastle.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Back at Greencastle High School. And while we were away, there was a drive from Edgewood. That was Jacob Boggs, and he got fouled. They give the foul to Simmerman.
I could be mistaken, too. Is this the first time that we've seen Boggs in the game? Did he play in the first half?
He got a couple of minutes in that third quarter.
In the first half, though, I don't think we saw him.
I don't think we saw him in the first half at all.
So this is another sophomore that we have that we've been talking a lot about. Zach Sims tonight being a sophomore as Jacob converts the both free throws, but he's also a sophomore at 6'3", too. So Coach Wadsworth has some young guys with some good length and something to build on to try to continue their stretch of 4 straight sectional championships that they've gotten to in as many years.
And here's a lot of new guys in for Greencastle, too. 3 in the corner goes in. That's Joel Hammond. So he's one of 4 new players out on the court for Coach Rector to start this fourth quarter. Drive for Huttenlocker doesn't go. Tipped in almost by White. Huttenlocker tracks it down. Kicks things out. Here's Boggs, left wing 3. Left it just short.
Yeah, good kick out there. Caden got downhill, had the help come to him, kind of pinched him, if you will, and did the right thing in kicking that back out.
Boggs with those 2 free throws is the first player not named Caden Huttenlocker or Zach Sims to score since the first quarter. All the scoring in the second and third went to Huttenlocker and Sims. And those 2 have combined for 46 of the 56 tonight.
Yeah, the good thing that I like that I see in the Mustangs here is even though you got a big lead, they're still aggressive. They're still playing to their culture. They're playing to their strengths, if you will. Still having good ball presence and still in a position where they're really containing the ball well, still moving with the action that they did. And so many times you see with teams that get up, they kind of they get comfortable, get complacent, and kind of get sloppy, if you will. But we haven't seen that tonight in these Mustangs with the big lead.
Carson Taylor's also in. He gets it in. Drew Hutchison, the younger brother to Cole. He's got the basketball right here. A couple of shot fakes, drives, gets to the block, loses the handle. Jalen White trying to harass him.
So we're going to get a timeout here by Coach Rector.
Coach Rector using a 30-second timeout, thinking quick on his feet as he saw Hutchinson in a little bit of trouble. If you would like to get involved in the game of basketball, you can become an IHSAA official. You can contact Sandra Walter at ihsaa.org/officials. Stay in shape, make some extra money. Training classes are starting for the spring season right now. So contact Sandra today at 317-846-6601.
You know, we talked about earlier, too, about the things for Coach Wadsworth, periodic timeouts and trying to keep your kids focused and disciplined. We just talked about it last possession and complimenting them. On the other side of this with Coach Rector, you just got to really paint the bigger picture, and that it's not just about this game tonight. You got to play every game that you're in, every possession, but they're playing for something bigger in terms of the greater development, in terms of the second half of the season, and trying to play their best ball going into February.
5-second call. Greencastle can't get it in. And at this stage of the game, obviously it's a huge hole to try to overcome. You're down 29, but those are still things like that out of a timeout as a coach just kind of drive you crazy. We just drew this up. At least let's just try to get it in and get a shot off.
Yeah, anytime to get turnovers are tough in itself, but to get one right after a timeout is always a bit deflating. You got to continue to try to encourage and do all you can that some of that rubs off to your players on the floor, and that you stay upbeat and think about the next possession. If you live too much in the last one, it's really going to affect the next one.
Greencastle foul called on Zimmerman.
So you got a player, I think that's fouling out here. If it's White, I believe.
Maybe discussing that, and yes, they finally do get Zimmerman out. He finishes with 5 fouls, no points. Austin Hassler has checked in for him.
And this is Hassler coming in. He's a 6'6". He's the biggest player on either roster in tonight's contest. He's also a senior, seen his first action.
Edgewood turnover. Going the other way is Greencastle. Greencastle's lost their last 2 games and 4 of their last 5. Their next game will be next Friday, against South Vermilion, a 500 ball club at the moment. For Edgewood, they'll do battle with Bedford North Lawrence.
And guess who hits that 3? Caden Huttenlocker.
Huttenlocker has not come out. Neither has Sims. It's been 5 brand new guys for Greencastle, but the usual 5 out there still for Edgewood.
And that last basket puts him in the 30-point category for tonight with 31. Surprised a little bit that the starters, the majority of the starters are still on the floor for Edgewood. Well, as soon as I say that comes in the picture,
there's 4 of them right
4
there.
4 of them at the table, right?
Scores table.
There you go.
That pass hits the net, and Hassler can't corral it.
Who said that coaches didn't listen to our telecast, right?
Let's see who gets in
here.
Here
they come.
For Edgewood, Joe West right there. Where's number 4? He's in. Hammonds is the only starter that is staying out there for Edgewood.
Kind of the floor general, if you will, to kind of direct these younger players.
Boggs is back out there. He's had a couple of minutes tonight.
This is a great, opportunity, too, for guys that might not get, the minutes when they get leads like this. And this is great for them down the stretch, for any team for that matter, as we see Hammonds take a 3 on a miss. But, yeah, I mean, down the stretch, you're only going to be as good as your bench and supporting role. Never know if somebody comes out with injury. Lord knows we're still fighting with COVID challenges and protocols from that standpoint. And certainly forbid that any injuries take place either. So you need these guys on the bench that if there's numbers called that they've had this type of experience.
Out of the inbounds, 3-pointer is good. Carson Taylor.
He cracks a scoring column and certainly great. You even hear it from the crowd too there too. But good job for him setting his feet and knocking that open shot down.
2 of the 3 3-pointers that have been made for Greencastle. Guys coming off the bench for the Tiger Cubs. Hammonds, left side, uses the right hand. And Edgewood now over 60 points scored tonight.
And that's Xander's 8th point of the night. He had 2 threes there in the first half.
31-point advantage for the Mustangs. They will move on to 7-7, 5-1 in conference play. Greencastle's going to fall to 2-6 playing conference opponents.
Yeah, you get these type of situations where you're ISO'd. You got there's not enough downhill attacks. Too much of it is happening laterally, and you just can't force any help to get any kicks for open shots. But nonetheless, trying to take your defender.
Under 3 minutes to go. Back door. Nicely done. Finishing it for Edgewood was Grant Coffey.
Yeah, really good job there of getting the high post entry. Had the help side come over. Back got turned to the offensive player, and Coffey hits him or goes back door to find the 2.
So Hammonds now will check out. No timeout used, just getting in the substitution. Nick McCullough back out of the court for Edgewood. He's going to try to finish out this final 240 with his 4 fouls.
So they want to get downhill here. You got to pick up on the 3.
It's an air ball 3.
So just think about the percentage shots as well, whether these are cleanup minutes or whatever you want to call them. But you still just want to try to force the defenders to play defense. And there's just too much, as we call, trimming the edge, whether it's with the pass or whether it's with the dribble, and nothing's getting downhill to force any help.
Baseline drive by Coffey. It's poked out from behind into the paint. 2-point shot good for Carl Norris. Everybody starting to score now for Edgewood.
I'm getting ready to say the box score is going to have a lot of names in it tomorrow, certainly led by Caden Huddlelocker and Zach Sims, but they want people to know, too, there's other people on this Mustang team that can score also, so their name's fine in the box score.
And Norris is different score number 7 for the Mustangs. There's also been 7 different scores for Greencastle, just nobody that really jumps off the page at you. Wilson is not going to come back, and he's going to finish with 9 points as the leading scorer.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, I think none of them are in double digits as of yet, but that's kind of been typical to what the pattern that they've seen this year with having their 2 leading scorers averaging both at 11.
And Edgewood now leads by 35, so the rest of the way we'll see a running clock. At this late in the ballgame, it won't matter too much.
Yeah, it was instituted in a new 30-point rule where it will not stop on any whistle.
The final 60 seconds from the McAnally Center. And carrying that foot and traveling with it for Greencastle, Boyd Ensley. There you see the clock. Not going to stop the rest of the way out. We mentioned the upcoming schedule. Greencastle will get some time off before they play next Friday against South Vermilion. Next Saturday is the next game for Edgewood against Bedford North Lawrence. Both those teams right around 500. And Edgewood will move to 500 after all is said and done here with a record of 7-7. But probably more importantly, you get a conference win. And you're 5-1 in the conference. You are right in the mix, right behind Sullivan.
No, and it is. I mean, and you talk about postseason play prior to sectional. If you're in conference, that's what it's all about, is winning a conference, because everybody gets to sectionals. And so kudos to them and staying one game behind Sullivan in tonight's win.
This Western Indiana Conference matchup goes in favor of Edgewood. The Mustangs victorious tonight, 67-30. They lead from start to finish. 31 points tonight from Caden Huttenlocker. 18 points added from the sophomore Zach Sims. And the Mustangs now 7-7 and 5-1 in conference play on the year. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the upcoming schedule here on IndianaSRN and also our Player of the Game and Sixth Man Award. So stay tuned for our postgame show here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to the McAnally Center in Greencastle High School, here to wrap things up tonight between Edgewood and Greencastle. The Mustangs, from the opening tip, just dominating every facet, it seemed, of this matchup tonight against Greencastle, and they get a 37-point victory and one more win in that column of conference play in the Western Indiana Conference. The Tiger Cubs dropping to 3-10 on this season. This is the Family Source Insurance postgame show here on Indiana SRN. Craig Cox and Jarrett Lewis with you here. First things first, we're going to give you the upcoming schedule on the Family Network's Indiana SRN. No basketball on Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, coming up in 2 days. Tuesday, 4 games for you, including 2 boys basketball games. First, Purdue Poly at Chittard. That's a 7:30 tip-off. Cecina will then take on Covenant Christian, also at 7:30. And then on the girls' side, Morristown will travel to Greenwood Christian Academy. That's a 7:30 tip-off there as well. And this is a big game in the Circle City Conference. Brebeuf taking on the Eagles of Heritage Christian. Those games are all on Tuesday, all tipping off at 7:30. Wednesday, just one game for you. Crystal House Manual will go to Heritage Christian. That's a boys' game taking place at 7:30. You'll be on the call for that one. And then 2 games for you on Friday. Both boys, South Vermilion going to take on this Greencastle squad like we mentioned earlier. 7:30 tip there. And Laurel Homeschool is going to play at Horizon Christian, also at 7:30. And then we will see the City Alliance semifinals on the boys' side. We just got the City Alliance tournament taking place earlier this week, including the championship game from last night. But here is the boys' side on Saturday at Tech High School. 1 game at 6, and then 1 game also at 8 p.m. The City Alliance championship game will be played on a Monday. That's January 24th with an 8 p.m. tip-off. So there's the upcoming schedule here on Indiana SRN. We'll take one more break. We'll be back with some final stats and notes from this contest here on the Family Source Insurance postgame show on Indiana SRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
For the final time here at the McAnally Center in Greencastle High School, your score 67-30. The Mustangs win it. Let's go over some final numbers for you, and then we'll give you our player of the game as part of our Family Source Insurance postgame show. Leading the way in scoring was Caden Huttenlocker, who averages 21 points on the season. He finishes with 31. He had 28 at the end of the third quarter and 14 points at halftime. He knocked down 5 threes and went 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 18 points added by Zach Sims. He made 1 3. 8 points from Xander Hammonds and 2 points each from Jacob Boggs, Grant Coffey, Carl Norris, and Nick McCullough. As for Greencastle, they were led in scoring by Kiefer Wilson, who had just 9 points. Anthony Adams was 7. 5 points from Cole Hutchison, 3 points each from Carson Taylor and Joel Hammond, 2 points from Evan Alexander, and 1 point added by Tyler Rogers. So Caden Huntlocker is our player of the game. And, just a phenomenal performance from him. It was really a pleasure to watch him from a fan perspective. Watching a player play a game like that, you can really appreciate his craft and what he's doing for Edgewood this season.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, he plays with a lot of poise. I mentioned it earlier in the game that he doesn't the terms that I use a lot of times is he doesn't chase the game. He's very patient. He lets the game come to him. There wasn't a lot of shots where he was pressing to get. I think the only one that I saw that might have been maybe a little quick was at the end of the third quarter when he hit the step back three with 11 seconds to go. But the young man was feeling it. And so it's not that he, so much the amount of points that he scored, but it's how he scored them. He's very patient and just shot the ball just really well from a percentage standpoint.
Congrats to Edgewood tonight. They are now 5-1 in conference play with a couple of conference matchups left to be played this season. So let's wrap things up from the McAnally Center. Thanks to our cameraman tonight, Nick Lewis. Great job as always. Our producer tonight, Ben Wood. Our color commentator, Craig Cox. My name is Jarrett Lewis, saying so long for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out all the games happening next week right here on IndianaSRN, where you're always in the game.